Monday, May 30th. The Brothers Meet. From Peniel, the face of God, Genesis 32:30, the place where he had this experience with God, Jacob moves now to meet with his brother. After 20 years of separation, Jacob sees him coming with 400 men, Genesis 33:1. Jacob is worried and therefore prepares himself and his family for whatever might happen. Read Genesis 33. What connection is there between Jacob's experience of seeing the face of God at Peniel and Jacob's experience of seeing the face of his brother? What is the implication of this connection in regard to our relationship with God and our relationship with our brothers, whoever they may be? Jacob bows himself 7 times before his brother, Genesis 33:3, whom he calls several times my Lord, Genesis 33:8, 13, and 15, and with whom he identifies himself as his servant, Genesis 33:5, compared with 32:4, 18, and 20. Significantly, Jacob's 7 bows echo his father's 7 blessings, Genesis 27:27-29. Furthermore, when he bows, he specifically reverses his father's blessing about nations bowing down to you, Genesis 27:29. It is as if Jacob's intention was to pay his debt to his brother and return the blessing that he had stolen from him, Genesis 33:11. When Esau saw his brother, against all expectations, he ran to Jacob and, instead of killing him, he kissed him, and they wept, Genesis 33:4. Later, Jacob commented to Esau, "I have seen your face as though I had seen the face of God," Genesis 33:10. The reason for Jacob's extraordinary statement was his understanding that Esau had forgiven him. The Hebrew verb racha, pleased, Genesis 33:10, is a theological term referring to any sacrifice that is pleasing, accepted by God, which then implies divine forgiveness. Leviticus 22:27 and Amos 5:22. Jacob's experience of God's forgiveness at Peniel, where he saw the face of God, is now repeated in his experience of his brother's forgiveness, which he identifies as if he saw the face of God. Jacob lives a second Peniel, the first one preparing for the second one. Jacob has been forgiven by God and by his own brother. Truly, he now must have understood, even more than before, the meaning of grace. What have you learned about grace from how others besides the Lord have forgiven you? From the book Patriarchs and Prophets, page 198, it says, Esau was marching against Jacob with an army for the purpose of killing his brother. But while Jacob was wrestling with the angel that night, another angel was sent to move upon the heart of Esau in his sleeping hours. In his dream, he saw Jacob in exile from his father's house for 20 years because he was afraid of his life, and he marked his sorrow to find his mother dead. He saw in his dream Jacob's humility, and angels of God abound him. He dreamed that when they met, he had no mind to harm him. When Esau awoke, he related his dream to his 400 men and told them that they must not injure Jacob, for the God of his father was with him, and when they should meet Jacob, not one of them should do him harm. Leaning upon his staff, the patriarch went forward to meet the band of soldiers. He was pale and disabled from his recent conflict, and he walked slowly and painfully, halting at every step, but his countenance was lighted up with joy and peace. At sight of that crippled sufferer, Esau ran to meet him and embraced him and fell on his neck and kissed him, and they wept. As they looked upon the scene, even the hearts of Esau's rude soldiers were touched. Notwithstanding, he had told them of his dream. They could not account for the change that had come over their captain. Though they beheld the patriarch's infirmity, they little thought that this, his weakness, had been made his strength. And from the book Sons and Daughters of God, page 144, it says, "How often we feel that we have been dealt with unjustly, that things have been said concerning us that were untrue, and that we have been set in a false light before others. When we are thus tried, we shall need to keep strict guard over our spirit and our words. We shall need to have the love of Christ, that we may not cherish an unforgiving spirit. Let us not think that unless those who have injured us confess their wrongs, that we are justified in withholding from them our forgiveness. We should not accumulate our grievances, holding them to our hearts, until the one we think guilty has humbled his heart by repentance and confession. However sorely they may have wounded us, we are not to cherish our grievances and sympathize with ourselves over our injuries. But as we hope to be pardoned for our offenses against God, so must we pardon those who have done evil to us. When we are reviled, how strong is the temptation to revile in return. But in doing this, we show ourselves as bad as the reviler. When tempted to revile, send up a silent prayer that God will give you grace and keep the tongue in silence. Have a blessed day.